Ahoy travelers, it's Amy with Cruising from the Ozarks, and today we're going to delve into the seedy underbelly that is Reddit. Actually, our cruise isn't full of some of the ugliness you might see on other forums, but I did a little digging and I found a nice "Am I the a-hole?" question. If you're unaware and unfamiliar with Reddit, there is a very popular Reddit forum called "Am I the a-hole?" where people send in various situations and ask if they were in the wrong or not. The one Redditor asks if they were the a-hole because they wanted to remove gratuities to punish Royal Caribbean, but who was really at fault? So I'm going to read this, but note, this person is not Shakespeare. And as a former English teacher, it's actually hard to read this. That's titled, "Royal Didn't Find My Jacket. I'm Removing Gratuities Next Trip." On disembarkation day with family of 4, we were all packing up and I laid my sports jacket / blazer on bed with intention of wearing it walking out to not stuff in suitcase. I realized I forgot it exiting terminal and it was too late to go back. Was instructed to create lost item report on website, all details, information to start an investigation. Month later, they closed ticket saying they never found it. Disappointing as this was, partially my mistake, but should not have been a big deal for cabin steward to find it, retrieve it. Fast forward, we are going back on the same ship later this month, and there's no indication of actually how much time was between the two cruises. And my plan is to have guest services remove the gratuities to partially cover the value of my lost item. I paid $300 for a jacket just last year. It's a 3-day weekend cruise out of Miami. So question is, am I the a-hole? What would you do? I'm a pretty opinionated person, so I love posts like this. Personally, I think this is a fairly cut and dried case, at least when it comes to the question of whether or not gratuities should be removed. Personally, I wouldn't remove the gratuities on any cruise unless something major happened. I mean, you'd have to have the cabin steward from hell and then only remove gratuities for that person if possible. Like, it would have to be bad. And it would have had to have happened on that cruise. He's wanting to remove gratuities from what could likely be, and is most likely, an entirely different crew. How's that fair to anyone? Who is he trying to punish? The cruise line? A stateroom attendant that almost certainly isn't going to be the same one that he had before? What about every other crew member that won't be getting their gratuity that week? The other major issue is that forgetting his jacket was 100% his fault. He's wanting to punish Royal for not finding the jacket that he says he left in the room. Maybe he left it in the cabin. Maybe he left it somewhere along the way during disembarkation. But either way, it isn't up to the line to magically produce the jacket. If they found it, I'm sure it would have been returned to him. What are your thoughts about this? Do you think that removing gratuities is a reasonable response? I want to read a few of the responses this got on Reddit, and some of them are pretty good. But before I do, if you enjoy this video, maybe even learn something, be sure to let us know by commenting and giving this video a thumbs up. It only takes a second, and doing so helps cruisers like you find us. So I'm going to read some of these responses. And if you're not familiar with Reddit, there is a rating system. You can rate anybody's post or comments with an up or down vote, and there'll be a number that just reads whether it's a positive or negative based on all of it. And this OP, the original poster's comment or his post, is at a 0. Like, there's over 100 comments, but either nobody's downvoted it or nobody's upvoted it, or it's had the exact same amount of both because it shows a 0, which is kind of weird. I would have thought it had a bunch of downvotes. But let's just read some of these comments. The very first one says, "Yes, you are the a-hole. Don't penalize this cruise's service for your mistake on a previous cruise. If you want to stick it to them, just don't cruise with them again." Agreed. So you refuse to take responsibility for your own oversight, and now you're going to take it out on a completely different staff? Yes, a-hole. Grow up. And like, that first comment got like 220 upvotes. The next one, 183. So these are the most popular ones, but you can see they got a lot more response than the original poster in the first place. This is probably my favorite response, and he quotes part of the original post that says, "This was partially my mistake," and says, "Suggested edit, This was completely my mistake, which agreed, it was. It was completely his mistake. Another guy, you left it. It's not their fault. Don't penalize a future crew for your past mistake. Another one, you're definitely the a-hole, and that should be clear with the amount of people here in agreement. Take some responsibility for leaving a valuable item behind and not realizing it until it was too late. And it makes you even more of an a-hole to remove your portion of gratuities for individuals not even related to this. Yes, you are the a-hole. Yes, the a-hole. Absolutely no excuse for you to do this. You are horrible for even entertaining the thought. I mean, this is everybody. This, yeah, totally your fault. Totally your fault. And one person gave an alternate situation. It's like this would be exactly like doing this. And he says, I once spilled a drink on myself. I'm mad, so I'm not going to tip the server of my next meal to punish the restaurant, who will receive absolutely zero economic impact. Oh, and it's my fault anyway. And this one talks about, says when they turn the ship, if you're unfamiliar with that phrase, turning the ship is literally when they turn over from your cruise to the next cruise, from one cruise to the next. When they turn the ship, they start propping the doors open. A guest could have swiped it as they passed by. It could have gotten lost along the chain. Stewards turn it in somewhere on the ship. Lost items are eventually moved off the ship onto port. Then in port, it's shipped to the third-party company they have that deals with this. Then the third-party company deals with it and eventually mails it to the person if it's found. There's a lot of room for error, and the only person to blame is yourself. So these responses go on and on. Like I said, there's over 100 of them. And they're all like, no, this is your fault. Some are nicer than the others, but everybody said it's your fault. But if we go back, there was an edit where the original poster says what he decided to do. And despite all the comments, he says, edit, we'll remove just my portion of the gratuity. So $15 times 3 days, $45 total. Let me know if you like this content. You like reading stuff like these Reddit stuff. I enjoy this. I like reading different people making complaints about stuff and then discussing that. Let me know what you think. Also, what would you do in this situation? Would you do what he did? Do you think what he did was right? Comment below. And then why not stick around and check out this video and then come back for more information designed to help you have an amazing cruise. Have a blessed week, everyone.